Hello everyone and welcome back to APN Gaming. Yes, we have changed our name on YouTube from the American Pride Network to APN Gaming. Why did we do that? Because we want people to know that this channel, first and foremost, is a gaming channel. Obviously, there is other content on the channel, or at least there is planned to be. But for the most part on this, I don't even know what that was right there. Little tick. For the most part, this is just a gaming channel. I don't have my nice fancy background anymore because let me show you guys what we got here. This is where we're playing our games now. As you can see, the lineup of games here. And you probably hear a hum in the background. And there's not much I can do about that because it is freezing in here. So I'll aim this down a little bit. I got a heater running right here. So you might hear a little bit of a hum. It's pretty good at getting it out so you don't hear it that much. But yeah, so obviously the gaming setup currently, there's a lot of stuff in this room. A lot of stuff. But yes, so we're still in the same place. Things have been changed around a little bit, been maneuvered around. And yeah, the big screen TV for our gaming monitor. It's awesome. So first off, before we get this episode underway, I want to send a shout out to T-Spence Outdoors. He's another local YouTuber. I actually know him personally. Does a lot of hunting, fishing content on his channel. Go and check out his channel, T-Spence Outdoors. He does all kinds of stuff on there. You'd love to watch his content if you have any interest in fishing or hunting at all. And it's in our beautiful state of Maine. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So I want to talk to you about the content on the channel. We just wrapped up about a week ago our mid-season of WWE 2K20 Season 2. Wrap that up. We're going to be starting the second half of Season 2 here shortly. Actually in the process of recording that currently. Today I got a couple of things to work on as well after this video. So we also had a new series starting, and that was the Hunter Call of the Wild. I am so excited to play that series more. That's actually another video that I'm going to be working on after this one is done today. And hopefully I'll be able to edit this, everything, and push it out for it to be up on the channel tomorrow. As long as updating and everything, uploading and everything goes, smooth. Hopefully that'll be the case. A lot of things that are happening. One of the things, we have new arenas. I think I posted those videos. We have a Superstar Shakeup that's going to be dropped on the channel at some point. Shaking up all the Raw, Smackdown, and NXT rosters. Big changes coming. Just giving you a fair warning about that. Big changes coming to that. But I'm really looking forward to the second half of Season 2 of Universe Mode. And a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about. So, when I originally, came up with this idea of doing a mid-season finale for Universe Mode, my thought process was giving me a little bit more time to come up with some kind of other concept to bring to the channel, some kind of other content, whether it be wrestling or anything else. And I did. I originally recorded a whole episode of a separate Universe Mode. My original plan was to do an LAW Universe Mode, have custom championships for that, and run just a limited series, I'll say, of Universe Mode. But I didn't really know how to do that, a limited series, and be able to bring a decent story. You can't really do that with wrestling content. You could, I guess, if you narrowed it down to maybe following one superstar, make one story for that, and then run that through like a Universe Mode type concept, like following this one person's career, or maybe a created superstar's career or something. That you might be able to do a limited series on. But I didn't really want to get into another full-time series. So I recorded this episode, I had a lot of fun doing it, and then when I really looked back at it, I was like, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to release this content and have another form of wrestling content on the channel, really. And for one thing, it consumes up a lot of time. I have to, sit down and determine what I'm going to do for a story. Who's going to be in that story? I got to then do the setup for it, whether it be completely on universe mode, setting up the scenes, and all of that goes into the recording. It's about an hour's worth of recording if you do a really well thought out play. And then, of course, you get another hour of editing, and I can't do that on top of the 3 shows I already have for our running universe mode. So I was like, I can't do this. This is too time consuming. It was a great idea, but I can't dive into another full-blown universe mode, even if it was just revolving around one show. I couldn't do that, and I didn't even want to release the first episode, and I won't. I deleted it and everything just because to do it and release that content just because I had spent the time on it already isn't fair if I can't keep up with doing the same thing. And this is the whole thing, if I was doing this as a full-time YouTuber, I don't know, I'd probably have to be even more careful. Because if I was doing this as a full-time YouTuber making money, I would have to be very careful in how I spent my time to make sure that I was getting my money's worth out of it. And even then, to run a one universe mode with 3 shows, pay-per-views, and everything on top of that, and to run another full-blown universe mode with 1 show and pay-per-views and everything on top of that, it's just too much. It's too much time. It's almost too much time to run the 3 shows that I have. That's why they're not set up on a weekly regimen of, releasing content. Like, when we start out on the second half of Season 2, and we drop an episode, it doesn't mean that the next episode for that is going to be on the next following weeks the same day. It could be a week and a half, it could be 2 weeks sometimes before we get the next edition or episode that goes along with that universe mode, just because they take so much time. I do work full-time Monday through Friday, right now, it is very good because I have 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off with this virus. So that works out good. Usually in the 2 weeks that I have off, I farm as much content as I can. So the 2 weeks that I'm back on, then I can push that content out. So there's not so much of a, separation between content. But that kind of brings me to why I started up this Hunter Call of the Wild series. I started playing this at home. I downloaded the game probably, before it was on Game Pass. I believe I bought the game. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how long it's been on Game Pass for, but if it's been a while, I probably downloaded it from there originally. I don't know if I bought the game or not. But, so I downloaded it from, I'm guessing, Game Pass. I tried the game out. I was like, oh, this is a lot to it. Put the game down. This is just from me playing at home. And, I put the game back down. I was like, nope, this is just too much. I don't really care for the grind on it. And since then, things have changed. I found a video of the content. I guess they've changed some of the scoring system with the game. I didn't really pay that much attention to it previous, so I guess they changed some of the scoring things to add in tiers for animals: bronze, silver, gold, diamond, and then they have I think fabled or legendary stuff as well on top of that. So I watched some content. I've been really into the whole hunting thing anyway. I've been watching Meat Eater on Netflix. I also listened to their podcast. I watched some of their content on YouTube, like the Das Boat series. Really enjoying some of that stuff and really kind of broadening, I guess, my hobbies. The hunting thing kind of intrigues me a little bit. I never thought I would have the heart to take an animal's life, but by watching how these guys do it and what they get out of it really adds a different perspective on it. If you don't like, if you're not for the hunting and killing of animals, I completely understand it. But the way these guys do it is from a perspective of, respecting the animal that they just killed. And honestly, there's probably no better meat out there than getting, and no better, feeling than knowing that you went out, you did the work, got this animal, and you're providing for your family with this animal. I think there is definitely like I don't want to sound weird, but a spiritual feeling that goes with it. Just to, to be able to respect that animal that you just take in their life, harvest that animal, and, reap the rewards of that animal. To have that all come full circle and be able to respect that whole process is a huge thing for me. So yeah, I've kind of been broadening out my spectrum. I always loved fishing. But I've actually started to look into more bird hunting and even deer hunting more. I've gone out hunting before, never really seriously wanted to go out and, shoot a deer and bring it back. I never really had the opportunity to shoot a deer. I came really close, but never really had much of an opportunity to. So I never really knew whether I could. I feel like now, after watching the content, I like Meat Eater and stuff like that, I definitely could. So with that whole aspect, watching, how they hunt the animal, how they stalk the animal has kind of helped transfer over in a small degree to this game, The Hunter Call of the Wild. There's a lot of things to it: sound, scent, visual aspects to the game. Like, you can't be in a spot where you can be seen, or else you're gonna alert the animal that you're coming. So a lot of those elements, the basics of them are in this game, and what I've been watching that corresponds with it. The game kind of takes it to an extreme. Like, if you make one noise by doing this, could throw off the hunt and everything, but maybe not so much in real life. But there is some real life elements that are in there really mildly that kind of coexist on the series and stuff that I'm watching on Netflix, the Meat Eater series. So I urge you, go and check that out if you ever had an interest or think you could, or just like a good watch. Check out the Meat Eater on Netflix. It's a really good series. I just enjoy watching it too. So if you don't have any inclination to want to go hunting or do anything like that, just check out the series for the content alone. I mean, it's done really well, and I don't think you will regret it. And so getting back to our other content, yes, Universe Mode will be returning here soon. I'm not sure how long we're going to go in between the mid-season finale and starting up the second half. I haven't really decided on that yet, but we're definitely going to be working on some other content. I'm debating on whether I'm going to do another Fishing Planet video. For those of you that weren't aware, I did a video a few months ago on a Fishing Planet video. And it went over good. I enjoy playing it. I'm just not sure that there's enough uniqueness and excitement within that game to really bring great content. I feel like the Hunter Call of the Wild, especially with the ideas that I have right now going into episode 2 of that, I think that I can make that really interesting, really intriguing. And once again, I've been watching Meat Eater, so I see how they can add a little bit of suspense in there just to make the episode a little bit more entertaining. I think I can do a lot more with a Hunter Call of the Wild. I look at those two games as being fairly similar. The longevity for both of those games are about the same. The Fishing Planet's a little bit more navigated on the premium stuff, like buying premium for a day or whatever. The premium's a little bit... How do I word this? The premium's a little bit too in-depth. However, there's some aspects of it that I do like, or some reasons for that I do like. So their premium is based a little bit different in pricing. So normally when you go and buy a premium service, you're spending X amount monthly, and you get access to the premium content. Fishing Planet, their premiums are much more expensive. So if I was to buy a month of premium, it would be at a much higher cost money-wise. Or instead of doing that, you can go buy a really cheap, like 1 day of premium. And I really like that side of it. I wish that you get a month's worth of premium for cheaper, and that way I wouldn't have to worry about it as much. But however, buying a month's worth of premium and only playing it twice isn't worth that money. So if I knew I was going to get on one of the premium benefits while I was getting on, wanted to put a good day in playing the game, buy 1 day of premium, play the game, get your perks out of it, then you're not spending that extra money for the time that you're not going to be putting into the game. So I really like that aspect of it. However, if it was probably a cheaper monthly price, I would pay for that and, just be able to hop on whenever. But the actual being able to get just premium for the day is, I think, a really interesting thing, and it's something that I've gone for a couple of times just because I don't want to pay for the whole month if I'm only going to be playing for 1 or 2 days to either get content or just the time that I have to put in on my own time isn't enough to warrant that whole month. So it's something to think about, and it's really interesting. But I put those 2 games kind of in the same bracket. Call of the Wild has kind of the same aspect to it. The money and XP gained by just killing your animals, going around. You get, bear, elk, deer, ducks now even. All of those, everything that you kill has a scoring bracket. It could change depending on your shot placement, how long it takes for the animal to drop by hitting a vital organ or whatever. Obviously, you're going to drop an animal quicker if you double lung it than you are if you hit it in the flesh or somewhere like that. In the stomach, it's going to go for a longer distance. It's going to die probably, but it's going to take a lot longer for that to happen. The quicker you drop that animal, the more humane the vital organs that you hit, the more perfect of a shot, let's say, is the better output you're going to get for that animal. And depending on the ranking, you'll get a max amount for each ranking. And depending on that ranking, as long as you've met that criteria, you're going to get the max payout for that. So the games are kind of set up the same way. You have to go buy ammo on Hunter Call of the Wild. You have to buy fishing gear and the Fishing Planet. So I kind of put those on the same spectrum, but I feel like content-wise, when you're recording, it's a lot more interesting for Hunter Call of the Wild than it is for Fishing Planet. But in the future, I might do another Fishing Planet video. I actually hopped on last night for a bit and completely forgot how to play, and re-upped myself, reassured myself on how to play the game. But I just don't know if the content's going to come back to the channel or not. We'll see. Like I said, I can't confidently say it, and I don't like to release content that's not... If I wouldn't waste my time watching it, probably nobody else is either. So I just like to keep that kind of in perspective. And I think the more that I work with the Hunter Call of the Wild, the more interesting I can get that content out to you guys, and the more interesting it'll be for you guys. So we're definitely working on that. Red Dead Redemption 2 is another game that I've been doing on the channel a little bit here and there. And here's the thing, we go back to the time crunch, the time management. Some of these games, I can't go and dump all kinds of series into the channel and not be able to produce stuff. I'm trying to get more on like a more regiment of stuff on the channel. So I'm putting out at least something routinely. Maybe it's not universe mode because of the amount of time it takes me to actually do that series. But the Hunter Call of the Wild, I could feasibly probably do one of those episodes a week and be able to put that out and make it, decent quality. Red Dead Redemption 2, we've been doing an online series. That game, the stuff that you can do, the cinematic-wise, can make the content really, really nice, really pleasant for the viewing experience. But the actual content that I can put out is a little bit harder to come up with. Like, what do we do? How do we make kind of a story to make it funner to follow? How do we, implement just something that keeps people wanting to come back to watch it? And that's where the struggle and the challenge comes in, and I think that's where me working by myself without another's input is kind of harder too. because I don't have anybody to say, well, what would you do in this scenario? Or give me some kind of idea of content that I can do that's going to make this interesting. Just to have another's perspective might be helpful. But Red Dead Redemption 2 online, the way that the roles are, and I don't have a separate account, so I'm playing on my personal account, and I like to play that, with friends and stuff, in my own time. So it's hard to keep content coming for that and keep that interesting. So I think we're kind of dialing that stuff back a little bit. I want to focus on the universe mode. I want to now focus on the Hunter Call of the Wild, and maybe try to implement another series of some kind in there. Either that or double down and do maybe 2 episodes of the Hunter Call of the Wild a week, instead of having 2 series that I try to get out weekly, and then the universe mode that I'm working on that I push out when I can. So that's kind of where we're at. And this is why we're doing this whole rambling series today, because I really needed to catch up with you guys just to let you know what's going on, what is changing on the channel, what we're working on after the season finale, or the mid-season finale of Universe Mode wrapped up. I just kind of wanted, it was a good time to get in here and to let you guys know what was going on, especially with the release of the new episode of Hunter Call of the Wild. And all of that stuff that's going on, I really needed to sit down and tell you guys all about that. The space in here is probably going to change. I'm going to work on a couple of episodes today of recording, and then I'm going to get in here and turn this room around, do some cleaning. It's been in here for 2 years without so much as a sweep. I think it just needs to be swept up, cleaned, rearranged. I got a couch out in the other section of this whole building that I want to bring in here and put behind me right here underneath this whole shelf, just so future content coming up. I plan on interviewing, doing a couple of neat interviews with people, and so we'll have that space to do that and open up this space a little bit and clean it up and make it a little bit more functional. We got a closet right there. I got to try to get the arrangement of the camera where I'm pointing. We got a closet right here, so it's a good space in there where we can put every, stuff in neatly and close the door and be out of sight, out of mind. But that's kind of a channel update. My allergies are going crazy right now, and I hope everybody's staying safe. I hope everybody is doing well during this time, as well as you can during this time. I am very, very fortunate. Like I said, I'm working 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, but I'm getting paid irregardless of whether I'm home or at work. I'm very fortunate in that regard. Not a lot of people are having that opportunity. Thankfully, I do, and I'm able to, do this on the 2 weeks off and produce more content than what I normally would. So I'm really fortunate. Like I said, I hope everybody's doing as well as you can be during this time. I know it's a struggle for everyone, and thank you guys so much for joining me here on this rambling series, this episode 2 of the rambling series. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like down below, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, go and check out that episode 1 of the Hunter Call of the Wild and get caught up on our universe mode. We just had the SummerSlam pay-per-view. It was huge pay-per-view. The pay-per-view went much better than I even anticipated, and you guys don't want to miss that. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the new APN Gaming, our new name, and we will see you guys next time in the future for more content here. I gotta get to work on recording today.